The game never stops, and neither do we. Welcome to the SDH Network. We're always around the corner from everywhere. Morning Espresso is brought to you by Oglethorpe University, Atlanta's premier undergraduate learning experience and soccer powerhouse. I'm Jason Longshore. Let's get into it. We're all over the map today on Morning Espresso, but we're going to start here in the U.S. The U.S. women's national team finishes their January window tonight. These windows are kind of strange. It's not about a trophy. It's not about anything being a finished product. It's more like census taking. Who's ready now? Who might be ready in 2 years? And who might be ready when the calendar flips again in the next World Cup cycle? The USWNT closes its January camp tonight in Santa Barbara against Chile. And on the surface, it looks like just another friendly. But for Emma Hayes, this window has been about classification more than continuity. She's been really clear about this. It's about identifying the core for 2027, the margins for the Olympics in 2028, and then some of the early outlines for the 2031 World Cup cycle that'll be hosted in the U.S. She said, it's doing 2 or 3 things all at once, but that's what development is. That explains why you have a full lineup change tonight. That explains load management. That explains the patience. Hayes has already confirmed no player will start both matches in this window. Not just to rotate for the sake of rotating, but because she is accelerating learning under pressure. I'm putting together a whole new lineup, she said. That itself will bring another set of challenges. First caps, inexperience, collectively playing together. And she keeps talking about the house. Get the framework right first, then decorate. Inside that framework, the culture is being built very deliberately. It's as deliberately as the tactics are being installed. Emily Sams, she's going to captain tonight's match. She talked about learning leadership in the absence of the veteran anchors. Missing a lot of key leadership players, I've really taken time over the last year and a half to learn as much as I can from Lindsay and Sonnet and Rose. So I just feel extremely honored and excited to captain the game tomorrow. That's Emily Sams. For younger players like Emma Sears, the theme has been nerves layered with hunger. She said, at the beginning of camp, you could feel the nerves a little bit, but there's an eagerness and a hunger to learn. New faces, new players, getting opportunities, and just supporting them. It's not polishing things in this camp. It's really more like stress testing in this January camp. And as the U.S. women's national team chases a 6th straight win tonight, the deeper objective isn't the scoreboard. It's defining that next core of what the U.S. women's national team is and doing it with the public watching. It's not always an easy thing to do, but Emma Hayes is making progress at it as we saw over the weekend. Story 2. Let's go from Orlando to Spain. One pathway being built to another. There's reports that Alex Freeman is headed from Orlando City to Villarreal. Feels like more than just your run-of-the-mill transfer. It feels like a big moment here for the player, for the club, and potentially for the U.S. men's national team. The deal is expected to land north of $4 million, add-ons pushing it past $7 million, and there's a sell-on clause attached. For Orlando, it's smart business. I mean, he's out of contract at the end of the upcoming season. If you can't come to terms on a new deal, it sounds like they offered him a U22 initiative contract, which could have been pretty lucrative. If he's ready to go to Europe and you're running out of time to do something with him, you have to make the move. And it's just, you'd love to have everything in place. Now you have to go out and get a right back, or Zakaria Taifi becomes your right back, another young, promising prospect from the Orlando Academies, played with Orlando City B. Is he ready? I don't know. Is he close? Yes. Freeman was that guy not that long ago. He is betting on himself with this potential move. He was a French first-team player a year ago at this time. Now, through the 2025 season, he's become one of the best right backs in Major League Soccer. He's become a very important part of the national team pool for Maurizio Pochettino. And he's a defender who gets forward and impacts the game in the attacking half. 6 goals for Orlando, 2 more for the U.S. men's national team. But it's more about his profile. he is somebody who, I mean, he's the modern prototype of what you want for a fullback. He can get forward and impact the game in the attacking third. He can tuck inside, and he's got the ability to play centrally when needed in moments. He can slide into a back three and be an outside center back in a three-back setup and then become an extra player getting forward when needed. He gives you the ability to solve tactical problems in one person and change the shape of the team in multiple ways. So getting this experience, potentially playing in La Liga and at a high level, it really matters for the national team, and it matters for his development, because this makes him even more valuable with another level of experience to add to what is already showing to be a very impactful player. He's a player who, I think with what we saw from Mauricio Pochettino as 2025 came to a close, he's a player who could be as important as anybody in the way that this team plays, because he gives you that ability to, line up with three center backs, but maybe not play with three guys sitting deep. It's going to be fascinating. But look, here's the risk. Minutes. Villarreal are fourth in La Liga. You're not going to just hand anything to a 21-year-old arriving mid-season. He's got to play, and he's got to go on the field. And I would assume that is part of the conversation on his end of making this move, that he's going into an opportunity to get that time and betting on himself. If he does that, this is not just a pretty good transfer. This is the kind of move that changes a whole lot in a World Cup year and gives him an even bigger platform to build from for the summer. Another move for Major League Soccer. Major League Soccer, they themselves have made a different kind of bet this week. The league announced a multi-year exclusive partnership with Polymarket, making it the official prediction market partner of MLS, the MLS Cup, the All-Star Game, and the Leagues Cup. It's not a sportsbook deal. Polymarket is a prediction market. Users buy and sell contracts based on future outcomes. Prices move in real time. Collective judgment shifts. In 2025 alone, billions of dollars flowed through the platform across politics, current events, sports. In MLS, it's less about gambling, maybe as we would have seen it 10 years ago, and more about control. The league will have input on which markets are offered. It will prohibit contracts tied to single-player actions like yellow cards, etc. It'll require independent integrity monitoring. It's a landscape where the NHL has gotten involved with Polymarket. The NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball have stayed on the sidelines of this. UFC is involved with Polymarket as well. The landscape is shifting really quickly, and MLS is choosing to lean into it and have said one of the reasons why is to you can't prevent these things from growing in influence and growing in just society in the world. So by partnering with them, you can have more of that control over the integrity, over making sure things don't get manipulated. It's going to be very interesting. I understand the idea of partnering rather than trying to block these things from happening, because I don't think they're going to be blocked from happening. So if you partner, you can protect yourself a little bit more. They're trying to shape the rules of it. They're trying to control the data, and they're trying to turn the prediction markets into a fan engagement layer rather than just an external risk. It's a tricky one. I mean, I'll be really curious to see how all of it works out. The prediction markets have been a really interesting thing to watch, and I'm not quite sure where they're going to go in the long run, but I don't know if they're going to leave completely. So I don't know. We'll keep an eye on this one. Next up, let's go to England. Gotham and the Women's Champions Cup. Gotham is chasing something new. They're already NWSL champions. They're already CONCACAF champions. Now they're looking for a world title. They play tomorrow against Corinthians in the first FIFA Women's Champions Cup. Coach Juan Carlos Amoros put it simply, they win one competition and they're already thinking about the next one, talking about a squad. It's a small tournament, 6 teams, 1 champion. This is the precursor to the FIFA Women's Club World Cup. But this ambition is big. It's a bridge to that Women's Club World Cup in 2028. For Gotham, They went from the 8th seed in the playoffs in the NWSL to winning the whole thing. They won CONCACAF as well. Now they're looking for this world title. Mandy Freeman said, this is where we want to be. Competing in semifinals, competing in finals, competing to raise another trophy, competing for prize money that I think the winner gets over $2 million. It's a lot on the line here. It's going to be very, very interesting. That will be tomorrow morning. We'll keep you updated on Morning Espresso and SDH AM. Let's bring it back to the domestic focus here. A different format launching in the U.S. this summer, the Baller League. It's going to debut in Miami, and it's going to get done before the World Cup with their first season. And then they're looking at a second season after the World Cup. 6-a-side, it's indoor, 10 teams managed by a mix of influencers, former players, including Ronaldinho. iShowSpeed is involved in this. It's been streamed on YouTube and on Twitch. They're looking at a possible TV deal as well. They did in England with Sky, and it went pretty well. It's not trying to compete with MLS, with USL, with NWSL. It's not any of that. It's capturing the World Cup wave and introducing this shorter, faster format that has worked in other parts of the world. Will it work in the U.S.? We're going to all find out. And there could be multiple kind of competitions under this similar kind of 6-a-side, 7-a-side indoor format that is kind of influencer-based, kind of sort of indoor soccer, but not in the way that we've seen it before in this country. It's fascinating, and it's worked in other places. It's different. I'll be curious to see what it does here in the U.S. Let's bring it back to the Red Clay Soccer report. Jordynn Dudley, the Georgia pipeline just keeps on producing. Jordynn graduated from Cambridge High School, played it in youth at UFA, now a Gotham FC player, and she's on the roster for the Women's Champions Cup. Won the NCAA championship twice at Florida State, 3-time All-American, Mac Hermann Trophy finalist, signs a contract through 2028, already with the club in London preparing for the Women's Champions Cup. So from Milton to Tallahassee to Jersey, and right now to London, big deal for another Georgia-based product stepping into the highest level. All right, let's bounce around in the refill. Brazil, they have formally told FIFA that they want to host the 2029 Club World Cup. They would be coming off of hosting the Women's World Cup in 2027. They have the infrastructure to do it, and the economy in soccer has grown pretty nicely in Brazil as of late. So makes a lot of sense. And as I said last night on Soccer Over There, I would like to see FIFA take this tournament to other parts of the world than Europe and use it as a way to create excitement and build a following. I think this tournament's going to be a really big deal for them, for everybody in the world. Having it in Brazil would be a really good move for the next one. Spain, they have said they want to host the 2030 World Cup final. Remember, that one is going to be primarily hosted between Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. Morocco's lobbying hard to stage it in Casablanca. Spain is saying that they will host it. FIFA hasn't made a decision as of yet. PSG, they completed the signing of 18-year-old Pedro Fernandez from Barcelona on a deal through 2030. Paid a little bit of a premium for a young player, but he is very highly thought of, has played through all of Spain's youth national teams, and wanted to leave Barcelona for a new opportunity. It's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on, both in his development and to see kind of how the reaction continues to grow in Barcelona at losing him. Wrexham, they are looking at a championship record transfer before the deadline, and they just issued a new share of the business worth nearly £48 million. So basically an investment from their current ownership, and they're trying to get a deal done that would be, I think, a big one for them in this push to try to get promotion into the Premier League. They're looking at Angers striker Sidiki Cherif. That would shatter the championship transfer record. And remember, they were non-league football just a couple of years ago. The Bundesliga, they have reported record revenues of 6.33 billion euros. Investment in youth and women's football hitting new heights in Germany. The league has fully recovered financially after the pandemic. Alexandre Pato, former Orlando City, former legend in Brazil. He is part of a consortium interested in buying Colchester United in the 4th Division in England. Fascinating. France, they're going to base their World Cup training camp at Babson College near Boston. That has come out publicly. Our old friend John Texter, he is reportedly going to be in France, General Assembly at Lyon, and since he is a shareholder at Eagle Football, who owns Lyon, he is reportedly going to be there. Well, the Lyon Ultra Group, Badgones, has issued a strong statement, and they do not want him there. And they're not fans of John Texter at all. One of the quotes from their statement was, "Fools dare anything. That's how you recognize them." It's a good statement. I might have to put that on a T-shirt. We've also talked about Flamengo and what they're up to in pursuing Lucas Paquetá. It would be the most expensive transfer ever by a South American club. And it reflects a club that is built on massive domestic revenue, strong TV income, aggressive reinvestment. Flamengo can compete financially at pretty close to European levels. Flamengo is reshaping the balance of power in the Americas. And as we've talked about with Major League Soccer's growth, these are the kinds of clubs that you are chasing right now. Of course, you're looking at Europe and chasing Europe and all that, and you should be. But it's Flamengo. It's the clubs, the top clubs in Brazil. It's Palmeiras. It's, I would say Botafogo, but John Texter's created some problems down there. It's Sao Paulo. It's, Boca and River in Argentina, and I think some clubs in Colombia and other clubs in different countries as well. But the Brazilian league is the most powerful one in the Americas. And seeing Flamengo go out and spend 40 million euro on Lucas Paquetá. You can argue whether it's a good use of that money or not. That's a different conversation. Maybe it's a little bit more than they should be paying, but it shows you the strength that Brazilian clubs have at the moment. All right, around the corner from everywhere, John Nelson hosting SDH AM this morning. He'll be joined for a segment by Kaylor Hodges of the USL show and Hammering Down to preview the USL Championship season. Bouncing around from Birmingham, where Kaylor covers the Birmingham Legion regularly, to preview the entire league and talk about the CBA situation with the league. He'll have some sound from MLS preseason camps and a full rundown of the day's stories, including the talk that has just hit from Tom Bogert of The Athletic that Espanyol and Celta Vigo have strong interest in Diego Luna. Not likely to happen before the end of the January window. RSL don't want to lose him yet, according to Bogert, but they are open and expecting offers in the summer for Luna. So maybe it's the start of that conversation. John Nelson will have that for you this morning on YouTube and Twitch. I'll be back with Atlanta Soccer tonight at 10 o'clock on 92.9 The Game. We're going to get into Jordynn Dudley signing. We're going to get into Champions League preview, decision day tomorrow, all around Champions League. 18 games all happening at once. All the things. Lots of stuff to talk about on AST tonight at 10 o'clock on 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app. These January windows, they're always about more than just games. They're about who's being tested, who's being trusted, who might matter when the margins get thin. You've got Emma Hayes building 3 different cycles at once with the U.S. women's national team. You've got Alex Freeman betting on himself with a move to Villarreal. You've got Jordynn Dudley stepping into a championship locker room at Gotham. The future is being assembled right in front of our very eyes, one decision at a time. We'll keep tracking all of it with you. This has been Morning Espresso. We're always around the corner from everywhere on the SDH network, and we'll be back tomorrow with another cup waiting for you.